Princess Melissa, beautiful and young, began her morning as usual. Gently awakening from her beautiful dream, she stretched on her spacious, cozy bed in the castle. The room was filled with warm, diffuse sunlight that played on the velvet bedspread, creating a cozy atmosphere. The princess had a large wardrobe where she kept her beautiful gowns. Next to the princess, as usual, should have been her beloved cat, white, soft, and silky. They were inseparable friends, explorers, and constant companions in her world of adventures and fantasies. However, on this day, his place on the bed was empty. Instead, there lay a strange stone with unknown patterns. Anxiety gripped her. Where is my sweet cat? For the first time in her life, she felt a sense of loss. At that moment, a sound came from outside the window. It was a dove flying by. Strange sounds in the forest echoed in her mind. The princess suddenly understood the dove. When she took the stone in her hands, she acquired a magical ability to understand birds. With sorrow in her heart and determination in her eyes, Melissa took the stone and hurried out of the castle. Her beloved cat, her faithful friend, could be in danger, and she was ready to venture through this beautiful but perilous forest to find him. "I will find you, my little cat, no matter the cost," she promised, stepping into the forest under the warm rays of the morning sun. Princess Melissa, in a splendid dress, stepped onto the road leading into the dark yet magical forest. "Well, my friends, are we ready for an adventure?" she cheerfully asked, addressing her new companions, the colorful parrots and other birds. "Of course we are," trilled the titmouse. The raven nodded wisely, and the dove, though looking somewhat nervous, gave a firm nod. Melissa smiled, understanding the contrast of their characters. The titmouse unstoppable, the raven cautious and clever, and the dove a bit cowardly, but she knew there was more bravery in him than he believed. They followed the faint traces of the cat that suddenly vanished at the entrance to the deep, gloomy forest. "Now what?" sighed the dove, clearly concerned. Then Melissa remembered the stone with patterns they discovered in her bedroom. She pulled it out, and it began to emit a soft glow as they approached the point where the tracks ended. The stone was as dark as the forest before them, but its light allowed them to see patterns on the ground that resembled a puzzle. "To me, it looks like a game," remarked the titmouse, hopping around the patterns. They quickly got to work, each contributing their part. Melissa used the stone as a key. The raven pondered over the patterns, and the dove and titmouse ran along the patterns, trying to arrange them. They encountered several difficulties, but despite that, their perseverance did not waver. "Do you think the cat knew about this?" the dove asked, anxiously looking at the patterns. Melissa scratched her chin, thoughtful as she gazed at the glowing stone. "I don't know, but perhaps he stumbled upon something greater than we can imagine. But don't worry, we'll manage." The incredibly complex puzzle proved challenging to solve, and they made several mistakes along the way. But each mistake only increased their determination. They tried different approaches, and finally, with their collective efforts, the sequence of patterns was arranged correctly. "Hooray!" exclaimed the titmouse, taking flight. The raven cawed with satisfaction, and the dove let out a relieved breath. "We did it!" Melissa smiled, feeling joy and pride fill her heart. They looked ahead at the forest, now slightly less gloomy. They were ready to continue their journey. The forest shimmered in response, nature seemingly welcoming them, and they knew their adventure had only just begun. Illuminated by the shimmering moonlight, the group of brave friends continued their path deeper into the forest. The forest was dark and full of mysteries, but with each step, they felt more confident, as if they were part of its magical fabric. "Do you hear that?" whispered the titmouse, flapping its vibrant feathers. Melissa's eyes widened as she heard the rustle of leaves and the creaking of branches. Suddenly, a swift river appeared ahead, its waters flowing with relentless speed. Then, out of nowhere, there was a dry sand pit, seemingly bottomless, And as if that wasn't enough, they saw enormous nets strung between trees, waiting for unsuspecting birds. The friends had to overcome their fear together. Plan A doesn't seem to be working, Melissa admitted, wrinkling her brow. But we have a plan B. They began discussing how to cross the swift river, avoid the sandpit, and bypass the nets. The raven suggested using its large wings to carry everyone across the river. The titmouse proposed using leaves and branches to create a bridge over the sandpit. The dove suggested circumventing the nets, utilizing its forest orientation skills. Although their plan wasn't perfect and was filled with obstacles, they knew that together they could overcome any difficulties. Their plan worked, and they found themselves on the other side of the river. And so, with renewed determination and hope in their hearts, they continued their journey into the depths of the mysterious forest. With each challenging trial they overcame, Melissa and her winged friends continued their journey with renewed hope. The forest became even more magical, with every step, with bright glowing flowers and mysterious shadows forming under the moonlight. "I hear a meowing sound," exclaimed the titmouse excitedly. Her voice was filled with joy, and everything around them instantly came to life. Following the sound, they arrived at a magical clearing. It sparkled with colorful fireflies and was surrounded by the most beautiful flowers Melissa had ever seen. In the center of the clearing, encircled by a ring of glowing animals, sat their long-awaited cat, looking noble and wise. Alongside the cat was a small, magical butterfly. It shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow and emitted a warm, soothing light. As they approached, they noticed that the butterfly held in its paws the same stone Melissa discovered on the first day of their search for the cat. "Princess Melissa, I'm sorry that your cat went missing. I got lost and used my magic to protect myself. Instead of attacking me, the cat became my protector. I owe him my life," whispered the magical butterfly, her voice sounding like tinkling bells. Suddenly, the butterfly's magic enveloped the cat, and he returned to his usual form. Princess Melissa embraced him, feeling a wave of happiness and relief wash over her. In that magical moment, they realized that the world was full of secrets waiting to be discovered. They exchanged smiles, ready to encounter new adventures. On their way back to the castle, Melissa and her newfound friends savored the beauty of the forest, which had become much friendlier and familiar to them. The cat, having suddenly returned to his normal life, walked alongside her, never straying too far. Suddenly, from around the corner emerged an old, enormous raccoon wearing a crown of flowers. "Princess Melissa," he began, "your cat saved our magical butterfly, and I want to express my gratitude. From now on, you and your friends will always be safe in our forest. And let your cat be our honored guest." Princess Melissa smiled. She never imagined that their adventure could end with such a wondrous reward. She bowed to the old raccoon and expressed her gratitude. "We feel honored. Thank you to you and your people, the king of the forest." Applause erupted all around, and the sound of this joyful noise spread throughout the entire forest. The adventure had come to an end, but it was only the beginning of many new stories for Princess Melissa, her faithful cat, and their new feathered friends.